Hello, Group 1, welcome to your reading. First, let's take a look at what's been blocking your financial energy. The cards we have here are Strength and Judgment. We also have the Moon as the underlying energy. Okay, this is a very intense combination. The energy here is strong, but it's also restrained, a little heavy, and deeply karmic. What I'm sensing is that, on a subconscious level, you've connected the idea of wealth with themes like passivity, negativity, or struggle, or even pain. The Strength card tells me that you may believe money is something that comes through long-term endurance, through restriction, through sacrificing a part of your own value as a part of the exchange. And deep down, you may feel like this is just how things are, that most people have to go through a difficult, prolonged process to gain financial stability. There's also the underlying belief that this process can't really be changed. There are no shortcuts. The only option is to endure it, to push through, and eventually things will get better. I also feel that this belief system may have been influenced by a strong sacrifice-based feminine energy. This could come from family, teachers, or authority figures in your life. Even if part of you disagrees, when you face this influence, you tend to respond with compliance. Now the Judgment card brings a very strong sense of ancestral or family patterns. It feels like you and your lineage, your parents, even generations before them, have gone through similar experiences around money, and even in your own life, you might notice repeating patterns when it comes to finances. It's like you keep arriving at the same threshold. If you cross it, your wealth expands. If you don't, the same lesson comes back again later. And I'm also sensing that this particular financial lesson wasn't fully resolved in previous generations. That doesn't necessarily mean they lacked money, but rather the inner conflict around money was never fully integrated. Just like the Strength card, the connection between a woman and a lion never fully harmonized. So the tension between dignity, desire, control, and survival keeps repeating. For example, missing opportunities because of pride, or chasing money so aggressively that it comes at the cost of health or self-respect. People with strong financial energy are often highly intuitive, and with the Moon as your underlying energy, I can clearly feel your sensitivity and intuitive gifts. But the challenge of the Moon is that it also carries fear, uncertainty, and hidden threats. So your intuition and your fears are intertwined, making it very difficult to distinguish between the two. And because of that, it becomes hard to develop a clear, grounded understanding of your relationship with money. The Moon really describes your financial energy perfectly. Your financial energy is strong, but is also accompanied by fear. And because of that fear, you tend to keep this energy hidden in the background, even buried in your subconscious. On a deep level, you may associate emergence of wealth with the emergence of danger, and that's something you'd rather avoid. So in a way, not fully choosing wealth has been a form of self-protection for you. Now let's move on to what is currently shifting. We have Three of Wands and the Seven of Pentacles, with the Ten of Pentacles as the underlying energy. This is actually really nice. The first thing I feel is you've expanded your perspective. You've seen more of the world, experienced more, and your awareness is continuing to grow. Because Strength and Judgment both carry that heavy, fixed energy, your previous beliefs were deeply rooted, very hard to shake. But now, I see you stepping out of your comfort zone, either physically or mentally, and beginning to challenge those beliefs. You've encountered people who are more integrated, more aligned. You've seen a bigger world, and that realization has deeply moved you. You are starting to feel like maybe you've been limiting yourself for too long. I also see that you've always been hardworking, very diligent, perhaps even too focused on cash flow. But now, after seeing a broader and a more exciting reality, you are rethinking what wealth actually means. Before, you may have equated wealth with money, but now you are realizing wealth is so much more than that. With the Seven of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles together, I see you re-evaluating your entire financial mindset. You are seriously thinking about how to move away from just earning and relying on income and instead begin building something sustainable. To answer the question directly, what's changing is your concept of wealth. You are shifting from a work-to-earn model into a mindset of building assets, integrating resources, and expanding over time. The Three of Wands also suggests that new opportunities are starting to appear, possibly connected to distance, overseas, or broader horizons. And when choosing opportunities, you are no longer prioritizing just the numbers. You're asking, does this align with the kind of wealth I want to build long term? And finally, let's look at what financial channel is opening for you. We have the Tower, Three of Pentacles, and Nine of Swords. At the bottom of the deck, we have Queen of Wands. This is powerful and very dynamic. Interestingly, this carries a similar essence of the Strength card, but before it was about enduring external hardship. Now it's about navigating internal discomfort. You're beginning to realize something very human. We resist change because we care familiarity. Familiarity gives us a sense of control, and control feels safe. So sometimes we stay in pain simply because it's familiar, because at least we know how to survive it. But what's opening for you now is a financial path that unfolds in a way that feels unexpected, intense, even a little overwhelming. I'll be honest with you, this isn't a kind of story where you suddenly win the lottery. This is a personal transformation storyline. It's about becoming someone who has strong financial energy, and more importantly, someone who knows they have it and knows how to use it. The Tower shows that something sudden, a piece of news, an event, or a realization will push you out of your mental comfort zone. You'll need to let go of a certain sense of psychological safety and choose something that challenges you. The Three of Pentacles tells me there will be a lot of learning involved. Even if you're already experienced, you'll need to stay humble and open to new knowledge. You may meet professionals, expand your network, find mentors, or align with yourself with people who embody the kind of wealth you want to build. And if you've been more independent before, this is a shift. Collaboration will actually support your financial growth. Now, the Nine of Swords, you probably already know this. There will be moments of overthinking, doubt, comparison, anxiety. You may replay scenarios in your mind, overanalyze things, or feel overwhelmed. But here's the truth. None of that is ultimately real. And real healing happens in those exact moments. Now the Queen of Wands as your underlying energy is incredibly reassuring. After all the inner chaos, the self-doubt, the mental pressure, you'll come to realize you are okay, more than okay. You are actually far stronger, more capable, and more radiant than you ever thought. I can even see you, years from now, looking back at this version of yourself and wondering, why was I so afraid? Why didn't I trust myself? The Queen of Wands, just like the Strength card, represents integration of instinct and inner power. But now, instead of struggling with that alliance, what once felt threatening becomes something you can work with. And this card also carries a very clear message. The more confidently you express yourself, the stronger your financial energy becomes. For you, stepping into the spotlight will be far more aligned than you staying behind the scenes. Finally, your oracle card here is support. Your life purpose fully supports you. This is beautiful and it reflects the shift happening within you. Maybe before, you believed that you had to be fully prepared to have all the resources before you could pursue what you truly want. But this card says the opposite. It's not that you support your life purpose, it's that your life purpose supports you. Because your purpose needs you in order to manifest in this physical world, it will naturally support you in return. Think of it like this. Your symbol is the leaf. If you are a tree, then that leaf is your life purpose. For you to grow, you must already be rooted in fertile soil, receiving enough nourishment. So you don't need to worry, just root yourself deeply, expand naturally. You are fully supported, because supporting you is simply part of the natural order. Okay, wishing all the best to those who chose Part 1, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello Group 2, welcome to your reading. First, let's take a look at what's been blocking your financial energy. We have Ten of Wands and Knight of Pentacles, with the Ace of Pentacles as the underlying energy. Alright, the first thing that comes through very clearly is this. You tend to miss your opportunities because of other people, other responsibilities, and a lot of unnecessary mental burdens. You might strongly believe in the idea that what's meant for you will always be yours. So when certain rare opportunities show up, you don't always act on them. It's not that you don't want them, but there's always something that holds you back from making a firm decision. And because of that, you either come across as passive or very slow to respond. And this can make others uncertain about whether you are truly interested. You might feel like the right people and the right opportunities will wait for me. But in reality, you often find yourself in situations where if you don't respond clearly in time, the opportunity simply moves on. Afterwards, you are able to make peace with it. You tell yourself, maybe that wasn't meant for me anyway. And because of this self-justification, you don't tend to reflect deeply on your patterns around missed opportunities. So when it comes to financial opportunities, if you're being honest with yourself, there is a tendency to let things slip away. And I'm not pointing this out to criticize you, but to help you see things clearly. Because only then can we truly address what the Ten of Wands is showing here. Most people know this card represents pressure and a burden. It's exactly these pressures and burdens that are slowing you down. You might feel anxious internally, wanting to move forward faster, but in reality, these responsibilities are weighing you down heavily. And here's the key point. When something shows up as the Ten of Wands, it often indicates that much of this burden is actually unnecessary. This image is very literal. Your path ahead is crowded with all these extra ways. You can't move quickly. You can barely see what's ahead, let alone notice opportunities. So right now, your priority is not to chase opportunities, it's to clear the obstacles. I would really recommend that you take some time to list out all your pressures and responsibilities, then rate them. If 5 stars is the highest, evaluate how necessary each one truly is in your life. And ask yourself honestly, do all of these burdens really need to exist? You don't have to figure it all out at once. But every time you revisit that list and question their necessity, you are already starting to release them. The energy of these cards feel like someone who has carried weight for so long. Then, even after putting it down, moving forward still feels slow and unfamiliar. You may even need to relearn how to move forward. But that's okay. That's what healing looks like. And let me tell you something clearly. Yes, what's meant for you will not disappear, so there's no need to rush. Your life will never lack opportunities. If you miss one, another will come. But the feeling of regret after missing something, that's there to guide you back to the question, what am I carrying that I don't need to carry? You don't lack opportunities, you just need to be ready to hold on to them when they arrive. Next, let's look at what is currently shifting. You have Two of Wands and the Queen of Cups, with the Chariot as the underlying energy. This is very beautiful. What I'm seeing is that your mental and emotional burdens are starting to ease. They are not completely gone, but they are returning to a manageable level. A level where they no longer control your decisions or slow you down. It's like you're saying to yourself, I may not be fully healed yet, but I'm still moving forward. I may still miss the past, but I'm still moving forward. I may still be needed by others, but right now, I need to choose myself. That's a powerful shift from the Ten of Wands, where your vision was completely blocked, to the Two of Wands, where you can finally look ahead toward a bigger horizon. After repeatedly reevaluating the burdens you've been carrying, you are starting to realize that maybe only a small portion of them are truly yours to hold. The rest were never necessary. And as you release them, you become clearer and lighter day by day. The appearance of Queen of Cups doesn't surprise me at all. You've been carrying so much because you're naturally empathetic, sensitive, and compassionate. You don't just understand others, you absorb others. And in doing so, you may have unconsciously taken on responsibilities that were never yours. But now, you're learning about your emotional boundaries. You are starting to return what belongs to others back to them, because you also have your own responsibilities to face, and you can't carry everything. I see you actively organizing your life, your emotions, your priorities, learning what is yours and what is not. And I'm really glad to see the Chariot here, because this is decisive, forward-moving energy. Once you made a choice about your life, you move forward with clarity and determination. There is no longer passive energy. This is intentional action. So when the next opportunity appears, this time, you'll be able to meet it halfway. Like we said before, your life will not lack opportunities. You just need to align yourself so that when the right one arrives, you and that opportunity can move toward each other. And finally, let's look at how your financial channel is opening. We have the Ten of Cups, the Moon, and the King of Cups, with the Death as the underlying energy. Okay, so this is very clear. When your emotional energy flows, your financial energy flows. So for this group, there's a deep emotional theme around acceptance. When I accept others by taking on their burdens, is that truly acceptance? Or is it actually a subtle form of not accepting their reality? For example, I want to help them, I want to fix their problems. But is that coming from a place of not being able to accept that they can exist with their problems? Or perhaps their struggles trigger something within you, making the problems feel like your own. Yes, this is empathy, but it may also reflect the parts of yourself that haven't been fully accepted yet. Sometimes giving responsibility back to others is actually much harder than doing everything yourself. But this reveals two different levels of compassion. One is, I'll carry this for you so you can be okay. The other is, I see you and I trust you to walk your own path. And that second one, that's true acceptance. The people in your life are not random. They are helping you move toward your own wholeness. Through their struggles, you are learning to recognize your own. I see you evolving. Before, love meant wishes others never have problems. Now, love means allowing them and their challenges to exist. You may even start letting go of rigid ideas of what is right or good. Even if someone you care about is struggling, even if they are avoiding their own lessons, you won't interfere anymore. You won't reject them either. You simply trust. And this is also becoming your attitude toward yourself. You are becoming deeply accepting of both yourself and others. Not in a way where you take on everything, but in a way where you allow life to flow. The death card shows that this is a profound transformation. You are being guided into a wider, deeper emotional landscape, one where you can calmly hold complexity, depth, and even uncertainty. Your oracle card is children. Your life purpose involves helping, teaching, and healing children. Okay, so with the Queen of Cups, King of Cups, and the Ten of Cups, there's a very strong indication that you would make a wonderful parent. Your purpose may express itself through parenting, but even if you don't plan to have children, you naturally carry a nurturing parental energy. You make people feel safe, held, and supported, and because of that, you may attract the people who lack parental support or who have a complicated relationships with their parents. Your work may also involve children or healing the inner child in adults. If you are in a field like counseling or psychology, you may encounter people who are emotionally dependent or struggle with boundaries, and that's part of why people may rely on you so heavily. But as we mentioned earlier, when you encounter other struggle, you may also experience emotional triggers, and that's your reminder to care for yourself and to heal your own inner child. This is a very warm and compassionate group. Wishing you all the best to Group 2, and I'll see you in the next reading. Hello Group 3, welcome to your reading. First, let's take a look at what's been blocking your financial energy. We have Ten of Swords and the King of Pentacles, with the Page of Wands as the underlying energy. What I'm immediately seeing here is something connected to childhood wounds or early family conditioning. You may have grown up or even still be in an environment that feels quite rigid, strict, and controlling. On the surface, your family background may have been stable, even comfortable, but it didn't necessarily bring you a sense of happiness. It's almost like what you truly liked, what you genuinely wanted, was never allowed. So in a way, it feels like you never really had it at all. You might even find yourself envying people who had less than you materially, because at least they were allowed to choose what they loved. Your environment, however, felt filled with expectations, pressure, and criticism, and denial. I can almost feel this physical sensation, like a tightness in your chest, difficulty breathing, as if your energy has been blocked, locked away, unable to fully express itself. You may also struggle with self-expression. There's a sense of restraint here. And what really striking is, the spread shows immense talent and potential, but it hasn't fully formed into something you can freely use or express. For some of you, I also feel that you've been placed into a role, an impressive or successful role. But the truth is, you don't actually like this role. It's not that you are not capable. You are. But this role doesn't feel like you. Like we said earlier, what you truly like wasn't allowed. So stepping into this role became more of a responsibility, something you had to do. You've kept a small piece of innocence, a quiet hope that one day you'll be free and finally get to live a life you truly enjoy. Even if that life doesn't look impressive to others, you still let yourself imagine it from time to time. And those moments of imagination, they bring you a little comfort. Now I also feel that many of you are currently experiencing a sense of stagnation. You want to explore new opportunities, but you carry heavy responsibilities. It feels like if you make one wrong move, everything could be affected. So even though you know you should try something new, you hesitate. You're afraid of making the wrong decision because right now the cost of failure feels too high. The King of Pentacles tells me that you've already built something solid. You have the experience, assets, maybe even status. This is your foundation, but at the same time, it's also part of what's holding you back. In the past, there may have been an external authority figure, someone you depended on, respected, but also resisted, who told you why you couldn't live life on your own terms. And now, you've become that voice. Regardless of your gender, you've internalized this masculine authority energy. You are now the one setting strict standards for yourself, questioning yourself, suppressing yourself. With the Ten of Swords and the King of Pentacles together, it almost feels like you are pinned in place, as if any movement might cause self-inflicted pain. So for this group, a key theme is healing your masculine energy. Right now, your masculine energy feels fragile, but at the same time, it resists being seen as fragile. You need to allow yourself to understand this. Even if you're not always strong, even if you step out of line sometimes, none of that threatens who you are. It doesn't define you. You don't have to attach heavy meaning to every little attempt. Not every step needs to lead a result. Not every effort needs to prove something. Next, let's look at what is currently shifting. We have Seven of Swords and the Four of Wands. At the bottom of the deck, we have Ace of Cups. This is actually really beautiful. As I was putting the cards, I already felt this, and then the Seven of Swords confirmed it. You may struggle with something similar to imposter syndrome. Even when you've earned something, there's still this lingering fear that you don't truly deserve it. A quiet anxiety that you might be found out. From an external perspective, you are actually doing very well. You are ahead of in many ways, but internally, you question yourself. You wonder if you made the wrong choices, or if others might disagree with your success. Because of that, you can't fully focus on your own path. You are constantly looking around, checking if others approve, making sure what you've gained is still secure. And that's exhausting. You are moving forward, but at the same time, you are worried about losing what you already have. But here's the shift. This scattered, uncertain energy is starting to stabilize. It's like someone who keeps checking if the door is locked and finally realizes, yes, it's locked. Everything is safe. For some of you, if you do have anxiety tendencies, there may even be a sense of relief or improvement. Now the Ace of Cups as the underlying energy is beautiful. If the Seven of Swords reflects ego validation and mental hesitation, then the Ace of Cups brings emotional grounding and self-acceptance. You no longer need to push yourself just to prove something. You no longer need to chase the perfect decision, even if it's a little messy, a little random, a little imperfect. That's okay. Because you have a solid foundation. You can't be defined by just one trait or one moment. Even if you doubt yourself sometimes, if you make a wrong call, you are still trusted. People will still value your input. Your voice still matters. The Ace of Cups shows that you are becoming more connected to your inner emotional flow, instead of being controlled by isolated events or labels. The Four of Wands brings balance. Your strength isn't about maximizing one trait, it's about integrating many parts of yourself. Some of you who used to be quite intense or extreme in your personality are now moving toward a more balanced, centered way of being. And interestingly, this doesn't make your life boring at all. It actually brings more joy, more opportunities, more ease. Some of you who used to prefer working alone may now step into collaboration or community. I can really feel this shift from being harsh with yourself to becoming gentle, compassionate, and supportive toward yourself, and that's truly beautiful. Finally, let's look at how your financial channel is opening. We have Four of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the Seven of Cups. The underlying energy is Two of Cups. This is very aligned with what we just discussed. As your life becomes more open and enjoyable, your opportunities naturally increase, and that's exactly what the Seven of Cups reflects. Like we said earlier, your strong foundation is both your strength and your limitation. But now, I see you actively choosing to break out of old patterns. For example, if you used to be very conservative, you may now be willing to take some risk. If you used to be reserved or shy, you may start opening up and meeting new people. And honestly, you are quite blessed. There's a sense of good fortune around your choices. Yes, not every option in the Seven of Cups is beneficial, but somehow you'll choose the right one. I'll even say this in a slightly faded way. The option that's meant for you will keep appearing until you are truly ready to accept it. I'm actually seeing a very specific scenario for some of you. You might keep crossing paths with the same person again and again. At first, there may not be a strong spark, but because the connection keeps reappearing, you give it a chance, and then realize it's actually a perfect match. It's something like that. And from the Four of Pentacles to the Chariot, as long as you give yourself permission to move, what's meant for you will come into alignment. And this isn't limited to love. From the Seven of Swords to the Seven of Cups, there's a big shift. Before, you felt like what you had wasn't truly yours. Now you dare to want, to choose, to ask. And if something doesn't align with you, you simply won't take it. With the Two of Cups as the underlying energy, it's very clear. For you, financial energy is deeply connected to relationships, connections, and collaborations. Being with the right people will directly support your financial growth. And finally, your oracle card is Heart's Desires. Angels are supporting, guiding, and protecting you as your dreams become a reality. This is such a beautiful message. If there is something your heart truly desires, go for it. Openly, you are supported. In fact, your entire spread is saying something very simple. As long as you stop blocking yourself, as long as you allow yourself to open up, what you can receive is far beyond just one opportunity. Okay, wishing all the best to those who chose Pile 3, and I'll see you in the next reading.